And welcome in to a early morning edition of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. I'm your host, Sean Grice, aka Magic Man, and I want to welcome in one of our very good chat room panelists and somebody who's very knowledgeable and has an astute memory about the game. Zangerstein, Z, welcome into the Lakers Fast Break.
Hi, Sean. Hi, guys.
All right, Z. Wonderful to speak to you. So before we get going here, just wanted to update to everybody. In the bronze game at FIBA today, the Canadians defeated the United States 127-118. Me and Z were just talking about that off the air. Dylan Brooks was the leading man for Canada, not SGA. Dylan Brooks had 39 points. That's the most points he's ever had in international competition. He led the way for Canada. Canada is picking up the bronze medal. Z, do you have any thoughts on the Canadians getting bronze and the United States not medaling?
Okay, so this was a really weird game because Dylan Brooks went on fire from the beginning. It wasn't as if it just that he's taking ill-advised shots and then got hot. No, he was on it from the beginning. Unfortunately, the Team USA's, I think their goal is to leave him because they obviously know Dylan. Un- Unfortunately, it went in. It was like 4 of 4 on 3 pointers from the start, and then it doesn't relent. And on the other side, we know he can defend. That's what we know. We know he's gonna body up Edwards and Brunson. He's gonna
Yes,
body all of them up.
he's a very
But
physical point of attack defender.
not only that, but he has this swagger to defend that's like irritating the player. You can see Edwards not on his game because it's like, oh, I can get past this guy. But Dylan was like, nope, I'm gonna body you up. And that's the point. I love big guards that can defend and can shoot. And if Dylan has actually shown this in Memphis, he's gonna get more bag. I mean, he got the bag still, but he's gonna get more because that type of defense, you cannot replicate that. He's really a good defender. I honestly think that he's better than Smart because Smart is like using that flopping thing he's doing, but Dylan is just using his body to put pressure on the other player that is as big as him or bigger than him. That's why if you remember this, he was guarding LeBron and he can push LeBron on his body. That's why they need the PNR play for him to get off Dylan. That
Yes,
happened on the I think that was the game tying shot, right?
yes, it
He
was.
needed AD to get off Dylan because he needs to get to the basket. On the other side, in here, Edwards is definitely smaller than LeBron. So that's it.
Absolutely.
Edwards can't do anything.
No, no, and that's CG. That's a great point because oftentimes you can be a really great defender and pretty much not say a peep. Like Alvin Robertson was just a and Sidney Moncrief going back. They were like very good defenders, point of attack. but they didn't. They did. They were very quiet. Whereas Dylan, like you said, Dylan Brooks and Draymond Green they're competent defensively, but like you said, they also have this peskiness. They're irritants. They could be irritants on defense.
Yep.
That that's that's an added skill. That's basically killing two birds with one stone. You either have that or you don't when you step on the court. It's not something you can necessarily acquire. Uh,
Yeah, you cannot manufacture that attitude, that no BS, I'm not gonna let you inside me, I'm not gonna let you cook me. That's a psyche, that's a mental aspect of the game. And because he can do it, and the fact that he's shooting so well, that added fuel to his fire that we're gonna beat you. It was like that. His swagger was like, no, you're not gonna win against me. I'm gonna win this. And the fact that he has 39 points stole the
39 points. Yeah.
MVP of the day from SGA, stole the moment for Canada.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
was wild.
Yeah, absolutely. SGA unfortunately got into foul trouble and bad shot selection. I thought against Serbia, and I thought you made a great point, Z. And it's to be noted that from beginning to the end, Canada's best player has been Dylan Brooks. So it shouldn't come to a surprise to people that he was the best player tonight. When you look at the other side, Z, the United States, I'm not sure if you had a chance to listen to or watch our pod. I know you were in the room, but I'm not sure how much of it you caught. But basically, Gerald was asking the open ended question about Austin Reeves' defense and is it concerning? And so, what do you make of Reeves' performance, and how would you evaluate his defense comparatively speaking? I mean, FIBA is kind of a different game than the NBA, but was there anything that concerned you that you saw about Austin's defense during this tournament?
No, it Austin's defense doesn't concern me. It's because it was the defensive um plan of Team USA to switch. They are switching everything, and I mean everything. Brunson went to a center. It doesn't matter. They're gonna switch. It's like it's like Steve Kerr's defense. I mean, we know this. Steve Kerr is going to switch it up. But I think what Steve Kerr, and I'm not sure why, but Spolstra should have done something about this. You cannot switch small guards to centers. I mean, why are you switching small guards to centers? I don't understand that. And that was why Austin needs to exert so much effort against those. If you saw him switching, he's actually, how can I say this? Trying to take away the passing lanes instead of guarding the center. Because if the center got the ball, he has no chance there. And look, Austin is 6'5". He's a bit slim, but the thing is, you cannot post up a 7-foot big man. I don't know what I. That was the silliest thing I've seen that Team USA did to let Austin and Halliburton and Brunson be cooked by forwards and centers that are definitely bigger than them. And here's why, because Team USA wants to play small. That's the start of the problem. And that's why I'm telling you guys that repeatedly all season. I hate small ball. It doesn't
Hmm.
work if you don't have a Steph Curry in your system. You know why Draymond Green is actually important on that system? Because he's the playmaker there. It's not Steph, it's Draymond. So if Steph Curry and Draymond are the heart and soul of that system, if you don't have those two, you're cooked.
You are.
Because there's no sharpshooter in Team USA. There's no sharpshooter in Team USA. Not to mention, there's no movement shooter on Team USA. If you remember this against Germany, Obst is actually cooking everyone
Mm-hmm.
because he is a movement shooter. If you don't have that on your team and you're playing small, you're not gonna win. Whether it's in the World Series or the NBA. If you've actually noticed from 2000 and honestly, if you notice from the beginning, there's no small ball that won, and except for the Golden State Warriors. That's it. They're the only small ball that wins because Steph Curry is like a 45% 3-point shooter. Two people need to guard him. And Draymond is the best playmaking big in particularly on the short roll. If you see, Team USA is playing ISO. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
questioning why are you not playing big ball? You're playing ISO anyway. You have Edwards playing ISO, Bronson playing ISO, even McCall playing ISO, even Brandon Ing. You have four guys playing isolation.
Yeah, not
And
good.
you don't have a legit center. Because for me, this is why I question the forcing Anthony Davis into the center from the beginning. It wasn't only because he got bulky or big. Honestly, he just went bulky because you wanted him to play center. That's why he loses the body. And
Absolutely.
also
See.
and also to protect himself because we know that he's injury prone. Those are two things, but if you remember in 2021, he told that to he said that to I forgot the name of their teammate, the one that goes with Jason Kidd. I
Oh,
forgot the name.
JaVale
What is it?
McGee.
No,
McGee.
no, no. The advisor, the cheerer on the bench. I forgot his name.
Oh,
He was the cheerer on the bench.
okay. For the
I
Mavs,
for,
right?
yeah, for the Mavs.
Dwight
He
Powell.
no, he was the cheer on the bench for the Lakers, and he went with Jason Kidd
Yeah,
as his
JaVale
assistant.
McGee.
No, that wasn't the one.
Oh, you're
That
talking
wasn't the
about
one.
his assistant. Okay.
The assistant I forgot the name, but he was a player in the 2020 championship.
Okay.
I forgot
Oh,
his
Jared
name.
Dudley. Jared Dudley.
Yeah, Dudley, that one.
Jared
As
Dudley.
far as
Yep.
I know,
Yes,
he
he
said
is.
that how he asked him how to slim down, right? In
Yeah.
2021
Yes.
because he was unfit in 2021. Then he played center. But this is the thing about JJJ. He is not a center, just like Anthony Davis is not a center on defense. On defense, I'm speaking about defense. If you put AD on offense, he can be the best center ever on offense. But if you put him on the defense, he is actually weaker when he is guarding the center because both JJJ and Anthony Davis are like perimeter type of defender. It was it was like their game is like to eat the space on the
Yes.
court instead of posting up, you know, buddying up people. It wasn't their style. So for me, the four is the best option for AD because and JJJ because okay, center you go guard the bigger person there. I'm gonna guard the four other uh I'm gonna guard and support the other four here. That's how they operate. They have the same skills in terms of defense. That's why I want the two big lineup because it helps both AD to support the guards. Because you cannot, in defense, it is a team play. You can't just say, oh, you're a bad defender, you're a bad defender. No, you need to see how the team defends their defensive concepts before you say that they are bad because in the Darwin Ham system the one thing that we lack there is the hedge and rotate type of defense because our guards are small. They're dropping so much that they cannot hedge. I mean, you have Schroeder, Austin, and D'Angelo. It's the same thing with Team USA. They have Brunson, um, Edwards, and Austin sometimes, or Halliburton, Austin, Edwards. Those three are small, honestly. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, no,
Those
that
three are small. They need support. So JJJ is the center, right? If JJJ needs to defend outside, who's gonna be left inside?
a
Right.
smaller guard.
Because if
Yeah,
you a smaller guard, he needs to leave the paint in order to go up. But unlike AD, this is what AD is really good at and excels at more, definitely more than JJJ. He uses his length and his size to eat up the space more. So he
absolutely.
can actually go like if you look at 80, he can eat from the paint to the three pointer. From the paint to the three point. That's how much he can eat. But unfortunately for JJJ, he can only guard one and he can only help. That's why Team USA defense sucks. That's why the rebounding sucks because JJJ is not inside. How can you rebound when your big guy is not inside?
That's true, Z. But it seems like Z, I was trying to explain to the audience and to anybody not familiar with the FIBA game is that the United States flaws really opened up when they played Montenegro. That was, I thought, the team that kind of uh, opened up a wound, and then we saw what Lithuania could do. Now they bounced back against the Italians, but when they ran into the German squad, the Germans just exploited what Lithuania and Montenegro were doing, only to a greater extent. And you're right. Um,
Yep.
when you also look at like the way the United States front court is built, they're very lean, they're long, but they're not physical, right? Like,
They're thin.
yeah,
They're thin.
yes, Triple J is a tall 7 footer, so it'd be like you said, Z. If you're asking him to like be posted up by somebody like JV Jonas Valanciunas or Donatas Monteunas from Lithuania, those are big guys and they've got some meat on their bones. So
That's the thing, Sean. It wasn't only that they are big guys. They can shoot threes.
yes,
They can
both of
shoot
those guys
all of
can.
this. Honestly, all of this Eastern European, the one from the Balkans, the Latvians, Slovenia,
They got a complete
Serbia,
offensive game. You're
all
right,
of
G.
all of these centers can shoot 3-point shots, all of them. So what do you expect JJJ to do? He needs to guard from the outside. There's no one left inside.
No, you
So
can't. You can't.
how do you do that? You
You,
can't.
you can't see.
Also at the same time, this is what FIBA differs from NBA. FIBA shrinks the floor. They shrinks the floor, which means that they have so many big bodies. So like three in a team. There are oh, even the Germans. I mean Franz Wagner. They're three. I think he's their three,
Yep, he
right?
is. He
Yeah,
is.
he's their three. He's a
Yep.
he's a 7 footer.
Yeah, he
A,
is.
tr- a, tr- a
He
seven
is.
footer at the tree. How can you guard three 7 footers?
Yeah, you can't. You can't.
You,
That's very difficult.
with that size, the size matters. I always repeat this that size matters in the NBA. You cannot replicate it. It's a gift. You cannot manufacture it. Yes, you can actually do with speed, but if you're not speedy enough and if the 7 footer is as fast as you're gonna get beat. That's what happened to Team USA versus Montenegro, Latvia. I'm sorry, they didn't face Latvia, but it's gonna be the same.
It would have been
Lithuania
the
and
same.
Latvia. Yeah, Latvia and Lithuania are playing the same game. Honestly, when I watched them, I think yesterday, they're playing the
Latvia,
same style.
absolutely. See, Latvia gave Canada a hard time. There's no reason not to
Yeah,
think that
definitely.
Latvia would give the USA a hard time.
They're gonna give you a hard time because their front court, all of them can shoot threes. That's why they like space the floor, right? They space the floor, but at the same time they can shrink it because they're so big. They can push you inside, so they're gonna shrink it. And JJJ, he is a help defender. He is not a post-up defender. He is not a one-on-one defender. Rarely. He's good in the perimeter, but he is more of a help. He has to time his blocks. He's more of like a JaVale McGee that he is eating up blocks instead
That's
of
it.
like no reading the room. Where do I need to go? Do I need to leave this person or that person? No, he's like thinking about everything else and going for the block. And that's why I think AD is still different because he knows when to go up, when to get back inside. He's reading the plays. JJJ doesn't read the plays.
No, he doesn't see, and that's a big reason why when the United States had like Bam on their squad for the gold medal at the last Olympics, he's able to do all those things that you were saying that an international center, if he's not 7 foot or greater, should be able to do. They miss that. They miss AD. The United States has a big man problem. See, we know that comparatively with all the other
Oh, definitely.
nations.
The Balkans, the Balkan nation, room of the, I think home of the centers, because all of those centers can shoot, play make,
Yes,
and post up. Those are
a-
three things that big man does, and that's why big man is never gonna go away, because the Balkans are proving that no, if you can shoot, play make, and post up, you're gonna you can actually penetrate the NBA. You can win.
absolutely, absolutely. Z, before we talk about Christian Wood, I just wanted to get your thoughts on how your home you thought your home country did the Philippines in FIBA. Both me and Gerald have a soft spot. We were really rooting for them. Do you think there's still maybe a generational talent away from really competing? Do you feel good about where Philippines basketball is going?
Honestly, I was disappointed because they just need to win two. The goal of the Philippines isn't to win the World Cup. It's to get into the Olympics. That's it.
You're right.
Because that's the stage. I'm not sure what their coach is goal is because for me that's the only goal. Two games. One game on the groupings and then one if you're gonna get caught. That's it. You just need two games. Unfortunately, the style of play is bad. The
Yes.
their style of play is bad. How bad it was like, why are you gonna ISO when the new the modern basketball is, it was like movement. It was all about movement and spacing. Why are you ISOing? Second, you cannot have small guards. Again, even in the from the NBA, I already said this. Even in FIBA, it was already proven that if you do not have shooters, you cannot have tiny people in there. And I mean tiny, even if you're 6'3", you're still tiny. You
Yeah.
can't. Unfortunately, they used, I think that was a Ravenna, way too much. That was the 6 foot guard. I think they should have used Abando because he has more spunk. He defends more. He has more athleticism, but he wasn't used in the first three games. Then he was used in the fourth game, but it came late. So if we have won against the Italians, and I'm not no, I think the first one was the nearest one, the Dominican Republic. If
Yes.
we won that and won against either the I think it was South Sudan or
Hmm.
Wenyan Gabriel is going to the Olympics, guys.
Yeah, he is. He's going to the Olympics.
Is going to the Olympics, and I was like so sad because I was so sad for the Philippines because it was their style of play. It wasn't. It was the coaching plan.
So
It
you're saying
wasn't the players. I'm saying the
it's not a
players
talent issue.
can. It was not a talent issue. They have the players. Yes, I'm not still buying on the Kai Soto how do you call the stocks? I'm not buying
Yeah,
on that stock.
the
The
hype.
hype. I'm not
Yeah.
buying it because he's not doing the intangibles, unlike the other one, which is Edu. I think he's doing more of the intangibles. When you're a center, you can't just shoot and post up. You need to defend well, you need to rebound, and you need to do that all the time. You can't
Abs-
be like lazy in there for 1 minute and then you're gonna dunk the next. No, you need to always be alert as a center. So I think that's Kai Soto's weakness. The basketball, uh, uh, um, the medal, the
hmm
basketball medal.
Yeah.
You like if you really want this, go get it. Something like that sort of thing.
Yeah,
But
Gerald was really high on Kai Soto when he declared for the draft. He thought for sure he'd be a second round pick, but went undrafted.
yeah, but even in here, I was seeing that already, that he wasn't showing what he was projected to show. He can do it. You're seeing it, that he does it sometimes. He doesn't do it all the time. And that's the difference between, how can I say this? For example, JaVale McGee, like he was for a long time, he was like a clown, right? Shaq's clowning him, everyone's clowning him. But there's one thing that he does best, and that's defend. He's gonna get all the rebounds he can get, he's gonna fight for the boards, he's gonna do all the dirty things in the court that he needs to do, even if he is not his, I don't know, I don't want to say anything bad, but
Don't worry about
he's
that
not
on here.
good. Yeah, he's not good on the offense, and he's losing his mind sometimes. He's gonna get it on the other end. He's gonna get it on
100%.
the other end, and that's what Kai Soto is not showing. He's just not showing it. Look at Abando. He's like what 6'3", and he's gonna scrap and claw his way into those big bodies just to get a hand on the
Yeah.
ball.
He's like a Philippine Caruso.
Yes, that one, that one, that one. That's perfect. Yeah, exactly, Sean. That's a perfect comp. That one. He's like that. I mean, he's 6'3" and he's showing you what you need to do in order to win. Because you can't win if you only have offense. You
That's
need
right.
defense.
That's right, Z. And I'm glad you said that because we're going to segue into another topic and welcome in Joe Soro. Good morning, Joe. You've been very patient. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Welcome
Hi,
everyone, and
Joe.
how you doing, Z? I guess the morning is week one. Mornings are a little different than most mornings. I decided to finally take a little break from spin this morning. Still gonna work out, but just wanted to maybe sleep in a little bit. And I saw the alert pop up, and I had a chance to view some things with the game last night, and I can't help but say, and I'll kind of keep it short. I know we want to go into the Christian Wood discussion. You know, Steve Kerr tripled down on this small lineup, and I believe it was Josh Hart who fouled out, and he replaced him with Brunson, who's 4 inches shorter, which that's even debatable right away. I think Brunson's closer to 6, and I think Josh Hart's closer to 6'3". So I'm not there, right? We're not there, and I think it's an appropriate discussion to talk about right now because Z's on, and Z has been adamant about small lineups and 3 guard lineups, and we've hinted at it a little bit in the last few days, just with the whole Christian Wood thing and why that could be valuable because Darvin Ham can really show his inadequacy if he doesn't take advantage of that particular skill set, which is a big man who can play center, who can shoot. So with that, I got the feeling that in the little bit I watched, I didn't watch the game live. Obviously, it was 1:30 in the morning. I'm in La La Land at that point. But I did get a chance to catch some play, little highlights, things like that, and the stubbornness in these analytical. I'm going to just blame it on that. These analytical decisions is mind-boggling to me because I got a feel of watching a Dodger game, watching what his decision making was. Why are you doing this? This is not going to work. It's not working. Why would you keep doing it? And it's funny because last night the Dodgers had that stupid lame man on second extra inning gimmick garbage that I wish they would have gotten rid of. I'm sitting there watching someone bunt the guy to third. And I'm going, what are you doing? You're not going to win the game if you get this run. You still have to wait for them to get their second baseman out. I'm sorry, their guy that's at second base to score. I go, why would you give up a out?
Yeah, Joe, you don't sacrifice an
Not on
out.
the road. Not on the road in that scenario. Like I'm what was the brain activity there? And why is Steve Kerr replacing Josh Hart with a guy who's 4 inches shorter than him? On top of the fact that you're getting creamed. You just got creamed by Germany because of those kind of things. Why? Is this the reason why Golden State kind of hit the snag? Is this why?
I think so. I think that's a part of it. I'm not sure if you agree or not, Z, but I think it's. We were talking about this earlier, Joe. It seems that Kerr has a stubbornness and an obstinance about his the way he makes adjustments.
So the adjustments.
Definitely,
Sorry, go ahead, Z.
definitely, guys,
Yeah, go ahead,
definitely.
Z.
Because if you actually remember this, all throughout the season last year, I was thinking, why is Jonathan Kaminga and Moses Moody are not playing? Like those are two guys, and they're not playing.
Yeah, and
Why are
now
they not playing?
it's weird,
And
Z.
now you want them to play when you've already lost them. You've already lost those two. Those two are not gonna go back, especially when you know that Chris Paul is gonna get the ball. And Jonathan Kaminga needs the ball in his hands. He's like he's like an Anthony Edward type of player to me. He needs the ball. He needs to be able to penetrate in the inside. And Moses Mooney, I'm not sure what they're trying to do, honestly. They're sticking to the big three. I get that. I don't know why they're sticking to the small ball. Because, guys, here's the thing. The Lakers already showed their movement offense. The Lakers already showed every NBA team how to defend that. If you can't do that, you're gonna beat Golden State. Yes, they need AD in order to guard Steph, but you can actually put them on the isolation Steph Curry offense if you can defend their movement shooting. There's a defense there. I think it's like blocking the screen. It's like moving up of the screen. You're instead of running for the screener, you're actually already there. You're stopping the screen or the play itself and push them towards the baseline in. So the trick there is that they can cut, right? They can cut. But if you have a center, a good enough center, you can cut that play. They've already shown that. So watch out because most teams are going to do that this year.
All right. Now, as we segue back into the Lakers signing Christian Wood, Z, what are your overall impressions of the move? How do you see it in both the positive and the negative sense?
The positive is the offense is going to go lit. And I'm saying lit on fire because Christian Wood, not only can he shoot trees, he can pop on a tree. He can pick and pop. That's not like, okay, stand still there, we're gonna pass you the ball. Big man, what do you call this? Floor spacer. No, he's not like that. He can pop on a screen. So if he is your like a bench guy, a bench from the bench, he's gonna go lit, especially if it's like LeBron and Christian Wood. It's like an AD 2.0, but on the 3 point line. And if you have that, because that's the first one that the Lakers had when AD came in, his 3 point shot is actually working on the 2024 finals, that one is allows LeBron or the guards to get downhill. It allows them to get downhill to get to the rim. Because if you watch our guards, they can't go to the rim because the center won't guard AD popping. They're like dropping, they're on a drop coverage. So they're not concerned about AD popping out, they're just gonna stay there. But if it's Christian Wood, can't stay there because he's gonna go outside. And if he has a small guy on him, he's gonna pick him, post him up. And Christian Wood is not like a Valanciunas or a slow offensive player. He is actually athletic. But the another thing though is they need a system for this because sometimes Christian Wood is so in his head he wants to shoot immediately. That's his weakness, guys. He's gonna shoot. But if he knows when and when not to, your offense is gonna be like 120. It's gonna be 120. I think last year's offense, the best offense was 124 by the Kings. Just needs to be top 10.
Yep, that's
That's it.
true.
You're gonna have top 10 offense, definitely.
Oh, I think we're losing Z a little bit. Joe,
Here's the
any?
thing about the Dallas Mavericks. Christian
Oh,
Wood is with AD. Uh, is there a problem, guys?
no, no, no. You're
Oh,
fine,
okay.
Z. Keep going. Keep
Okay.
going.
So for me, if AD and Christian Wood is on the floor together, it will mask Christian Wood's defensive limitations. Because guys, all of those personnel in the Dallas Mavericks on the defensive side, they are all Fs. All of them. Doncic is an F. Kyrie Irving is an F. Even Maxi Kleber is an F. The other one, I think it was
I think the
the
only plus
Tim
defenders
Tim
they have,
Hardaway.
Z, yeah, is Grant Williams. He's probably their best defender at this point.
Oh, Grant. Oh, that was the new Mavericks. I was speaking about last year. I was speaking
Hmm.
about last season.
Oh,
Last season,
yeah,
all of their yeah,
they were bad.
last season
They were
they were
terrible.
bad. They not only they were terrible. This is why defense is actually hard to conceptualize in if you're just watching it and you're not really studying how it works. If you're perimeter guy, so in this example in the Dallas last year, Doncic, Kyrie, or before him, um, I think Tim Hardaway, and I forgot the other one, their three-pointer.
Oh,
The
is it
Bullock,
where?
Bullock, is it Reggie Bullock?
Yeah,
Reggie
Reggie
Bullock,
Bullock.
right? So those three, right? Those three, they can't guard anyone. They can't guard a lick. Even Bullock, who's supposed to have that medal in defense, his defense was gone last year. So all of the perimeter guys can't defend anything. You're gonna left all of them on wood, all of it. And the thing is, they played before the trade deadline. Who's that guy that they traded for to get Kyrie? DFS?
Yeah,
DFS?
yeah, Dorian Finney-Smith. Yeah.
Yeah, he's playing the four. Guy, he's playing the four. He wasn't supposed to play the four.
No,
He's not a post up. He's not a post up defender. He's a
he's a
wing
six.
defender.
He's a 6'6", 6'7" wing. He shouldn't be asked to play the
Yeah,
four.
he's playing the four. So you're leaving Doncic, the other guard, Team Hardaway, Bullock, um, DFS, then Christian Wood. Every defense needs to be on Christian Wood, and he can't do it. He can't do it. Here's the thing: if you saw the numbers when he is with Dwight Powell, it's good. His numbers with Dwight Powell was good, guys.
Yep. So are Maxi
Because
Kleba's.
they have to. But Maxi Kleba can't also guard anything, Sean. He also can't guard anything. He's act and also Dallas played to choose. They actually chose to play small ball again.
Yeah.
Joe hates this, but they did. The Dallas last year played small ball, but that's why it didn't work there. But when you saw him defend, if he only puts his mind on it, he can. And he is also a good enough help defender.
Yeah, he's
That's
decent.
why that's why he averaged 2 blocks a game. You cannot average 2 blocks a game if you're telling me that you cannot read the floor. He can read it. It's just that the personnel is not fit because they're
Yeah,
putting a lot of pressure on him to
and he
defend.
and he's not. I agree with you, Z. He's a really good. He's decent to really good help defender, kind of from the box in. My concern about him is that when he's not switchable, um, and he's definitely has a tendency to not close out on 3 pointers. See, I think that's where he gets taken advantage of. But I think those are correct. Like the issues with him defensively have nothing to do with his personality or the way he plays the game. It has to do with coaching, the correctable errors that he makes.
Definitely, Sean. I think it's correctable. As for the perimeter defense, the switching, that's the good thing about the Lakers. Because even AD in his mind, and even LeBron, if you saw some of their plays, that's why LeBron and AD are work well together, not only offensively but defensively, is because they read the plays. So if you saw this, Braun will call out the guard so that he can come up, switch that thing immediately. It's like, okay, you're gonna force the switch, but actually, I'm gonna cut that and I'm gonna be the one to switch in there. You get it, Sean? That's the type of play that AD and LeBron can do. So they're not gonna allow that, okay, Austin guard Valanciunas. They're gonna they're not gonna leave Austin on Valanciunas or any of those big guys. Unlike what Team USA have shown. They left Austin. And here's the thing. You can do that if you can hedge.
Mm-hmm.
Hedge and recover, guys. It's a
Yep.
hedge defense.
AD,
If you can help Austin on that position, you can defend that. But in Team USA, they didn't do that. They didn't do that. You need to help the tiny guy who is actually being massacred by the center. You need to help him. But that's what's good with AD because AD is gonna tell you, no, you do this, you get back in there, or why are you not defending this guy, or you need to run in there. He's the defensive master, I think.
yeah, he is. He is. Z. I've said it before. I'll say it again. He's the greatest defender of his generation. I think he can make a hold claim to that. I agree with you. I think that it's going to take some time. Take at least, I think, like 6 to 12 weeks, maybe a month and a half, 3 months for I think Christian Wood to feel comfortable enough playing out there. And like you said, AD and LeBron are very communicative on defense. Probably two of the better, just verbalization out there because of the youth we have. Austin Reeves has 1 year in Ham's system as well, so I think it's a best of both worlds situation here with Christian Wood. I think he's coming into a situation where there's a lot of leadership. There's not a void of leadership that there was in Detroit, Houston, Dallas, New Orleans. We can go on and on and on. I think a lot of the problems Wood had are self-inflicted, like a personality issue, interpersonal conflict. I also think part of it was just he was planted in toxic environments. Joe, did you have anything to add or anything to maybe agree or disagree with what Z had to say about Wood?
No, it's pretty dead on. I'm more concerned about his attitude than his skill set. I think
Yeah, so am I.
his skill set's
Yep.
gonna naturally improve with guys like LeBron and AD around him, and not having to deal with working in Dallas. I think we're forgetting that Dallas. And I'm not liking this word now because I feel like anytime somebody doesn't get what they want, they use the word toxic environment. So a toxic environment, what does that mean? I feel like that's the
So what I meant was that what I said before. There's a void of leadership. It's just a black hole. There's
so
an abyss of
everything's a
leadership.
toxic. So everybody loves the word of the month or the word of the year bull crap, right? What does that mean? It's like the term I used to that I heard a while back, which was fair share. What does that mean? What does fair share mean? Who dictates fair share, right? So what do you mean toxic? Because if I'm coaching a team or I'm managing a team and you're not doing your job and I lay into you because this is the third time you've done this and I'm paying you a lot of money and what now it's a toxic environment because the
Well,
employee stinks.
I'll use one example to describe the leadership that the Dallas Mavericks have. Their head coach once, when he was coaching for another team, had no timeouts left. So he asked a player to bump into him while he was sipping on ice water so that the cleanup crew could come in, clean it up while he could drop a play. And by the way, the play he drew up was Joe doesn't have the button, but that's what I was going to say. But anyway, that I know you hate that word, Joe. I will refrain from using that phraseology. All I meant to say was that this guy has been with 8 teams in 8 years. He's 27 years old. And I think it was yourself and Tom who were saying yesterday he shouldn't be making the minimum. Like he should not be making the vet minimum. But I think it's a case of rolling into situations that are just erratic and unbalanced and not full of leadership. Like he hasn't really hitched his wagon to a team yet where there is leadership, structure, at least from the outside looking in. Now he's there. So I agree with you.
So
I
with
think of
that,
this in two ways. I think of this in two ways with what you said, Sean. Something in what you said actually reminds me of this. Christian Wood was in 7 teams. This is his eighth team, right? Right. This is his eighth team. The fact that he was able to still improve his skills, that says a lot, honestly. On the other hand, yeah, he's not doing the intangibles that I was talking about. The metal, it doesn't have that. But how did he improve? How did he improve his game to this offensive level, you can't tell me that it was just talent because talent can only get you to the NBA. It cannot get you anywhere more than 40% from the 3 point line. It means something about his psyche, probably, that he doesn't know what to do, maybe, on the defensive end. So if you're not gonna tell him what to do, or you're gonna ask him to do something that he can't, that's the that's a problem, right? So I think of this in two ways. Yes, he may be he doesn't maybe listen, he doesn't want to be there, or whatever is this. The thing is, we know nothing about the what's happening on the background. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes, but we know that he can play offense at a high level. How did he do that?
Yeah,
How
how
did he
did
do
he do
that?
it? Right. That's a great
With
point,
it,
Steve.
yeah, right? If he's not really listening, how was he able to improve his talent, his skills? You can't trust. Sometimes it's just, for me, it was just like this. I was watching tennis earlier this morning to me, guys.
Oh,
It was night and
congratulations
now.
to Coco Goff's
Coco
win.
Golf. I was cheering for that girl since she was like, what, 17? Everyone's pressuring her to win. Her weakness is this. Her weakness is that she doesn't have a forehand. And when you don't have a forehand in tennis, that's gonna hurt,
Hmm.
right? But she has an elite backhand, and she is so fast. She's really fast. So athleticism and a backhand, that's her shot. Now, she changed a coach, I think 2 months ago, when she first started winning all this. Before this coach, her highest win was a 250. A 250. That's her highest. Yeah, she can get to the finals of the French Open last year and everything like that. She never won. You know what they did? Instead of improving or changing the forehand, the coach said, loop it, loop it. Meaning that you need to loop the ball so that it goes. Yeah, it's not strong. It's not strong. It's not a legit forehand. But it's a technique. Just loop it in there, loop it. And it worked. It worked for her. So someone just have to tell her that you don't have a forehand. You don't need a forehand to win. You need a technique. You need to do this in order for you to win. Earlier, she was down. I think she was down 6-2 in the first set. She was down 6-2. But this is the difference between tennis and the NBA. In the NBA, if your team is good, you're gonna win, right? You're
Yes.
gonna win. But in tennis, there are two ways to win. Force your opponent to make unforced errors and luck. Because if those errors came in, it's gonna be points to you. So she's not gonna beat this the new world number one arena. She's not gonna beat her on a uh, what around, get all this until you make a mistake. That's also a tactic, guys. So, you just need some advice that actually will let you to believe that you don't need this to win. You actually have to use what you have to win, what you already have, because she's fast. So use your fast, get all these balls, lengthen the play. She's gonna make a mistake. Her mistake is your point. That's winning ugly, but that's the truth. So I think if you just put these players, 80% of the players in the NBA, I believe this, 10% actually doesn't even qualify. Top 10%, the best guys. The middle, there's so many of them, they need to fit. They need a team where they can fit and be used to the advantage of that team. To me, that's it.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Z. Joe, do you have anything to add of what Z said? Any thoughts on Coco Gauff's big U.S. Open win?
I haven't invested a lot of time and eyes on women's tennis recently. I don't know if it's been too one-sided the last 20 years. Women's tennis in the 90s was the greatest era of tennis, in my opinion.
Monica Seles, Steffi Graf,
I mean, even Martina Navratilova,
Navratilova,
Conchita Martinez.
Loba form
You had what we would have called second-tier players winning majors against these icons. It's just sad that Monica Seles had to deal with a scumbag to shorten her career, but I'm probably more invested in Novak at the moment. I'm kind of bummed that he lost at Wimbledon, because had he won in Wimbledon, in an amazing match, by the way, he might have had a chance today to get the Grand Slam. So I'm kind of bummed about that. But I think he's got a good chance to win today and extend his major lead. And I have a lot of respect for Novak. There's stuff he's done outside of tennis that have given even more admiration on his principles. And 17-year-old winning a major. I have noticed that Coco's got this
No,
little.
he's 19. She's 19. She's 19.
She's not 17. Why did I keep hearing 17?
No, she was 17 when she had that run.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Everyone was putting pressure. I was watching her when she was 17, but I think she was already a pro at 15.
Yeah. Well,
She was a pro at 15 when she beat Serena, I think, at Wimbledon at 15.
Got it. I'm just hoping that it's not going to be a redux of a Jennifer Capriati, because Jennifer Capriati turned pro, I believe, at 13, and won a major and was the darling of the circuit, the next big star, and she kind of faded out a little bit. And I've seen Coco's certain interviews where you can tell, and kind of body language where you can tell she's kind of got. I always say this: you can always tell in any walk of life. Like, you can tell when someone answers things a certain way. You can tell, like, oh, okay, I can see they're kind of over this. It's not a good thing to have at this young of an age, because then you become cynical. You become your attitude kind of becomes jaded, and to be jaded and cynical at 19 is not a good start. Now, I hope she can get the support and someone on her side letting her know, hey, look, deal with the distractions. Don't let it mess you up. If you want to vent, cool, but try to not let it drive you somewhere else that's going to take you away from tennis. So that's kind of my thing on that. Again, I haven't had a chance to really delve into the women's tennis side of things. I feel like when it's not an American, it's hard. I don't, and even I don't know why it's different in male tennis, because obviously Novak and Federer and Nadal are not Americans, but there's an elegance in how those guys played tennis the last 20 years. I just was invested in it. Anytime that they were in a major, I was watching it, and I really, really was pulling for Roger Federer for many years, just because I just think he's a very, very, very good person and a great tennis player. But it's sports.
It's cruel.
It's
cruel.
It's the only thing that you can't fake. We talk about talent, right? Getting to the NBA, you can have the talent to get in the NBA, but can you maintain your talent? And talking about Christian Wood, if you look at his first 5 years in the league, it looked like a guy that wasn't getting off the bench. And all of a sudden he starts averaging 21 and 9, almost 10. And then 17 and 10. Yeah, it's kind of a weird career. You don't usually see that.
It is weird because if you look at a previous example of something like this, Joe, it was Hassan Whiteside. And Hassan Whiteside eventually got $100 million contract, Joe, and then he fell off the face of the earth after he got the bag.
Yeah, Hassan Whiteside has what you could say a similar reputation. He might
as
actually
Christian Wood, yeah.
He might have been. Actually, I've heard Hassan might be worse because there was an IQ problem. It wasn't just the fact that he really had
there were bats in the belfry.
Yeah, he wasn't that bright in certain dialogue. So I'm okay with that. Christian Wood, give us your best season ever so you can go get your money at the end of the year. Because if he has his best year, it's very likely the Lakers end up winning the championship.
100%. And before we head on out, it's now a final. Germany are the world champions. They defeated the Serbs 83-77. Dennis Schroeder, 28 points, leads Germany again. And before he got the gold medal around his neck, he took a shot at the Lakers beforehand. Just to quote Dennis Schroeder, my team is extremely awesome. I think this is the best team I've been on, whether it's in the NBA or the national team. So Dennis Schroeder taking a shot at the Lakers just before he gets the gold medal. Good for Dennis. He had a great tournament.
I mean, he won.
He won. He gets to brag.
So
When you win, you get to talk your smack.
Yeah, honestly, I think he fits there on that team because
not only that,
I wasn't bitter.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not when he left. Not at all. I'm glad he's doing well. I will say this though, before we head on out, Z. We've mentioned Maxi Kleber more times on a Laker fast break than I can recall. Dennis called him out for not playing for the national team. Z, I'm not sure if you were aware of that. And now he gets to shine that gold medal right in Maxi Kleber's face because Maxi Kleber thought it was best for him to work on individual skills when he was with the Germans rather than actually play with his teammates. But I'll leave it there.
You actually have to credit Schroeder.
Absolutely, Z. And with that, we'll head on out for the day. I want to thank everybody for showing up this early, especially Joe. Joe is a workout maniac right now. He's got a goal. And Joe, I know this is probably not where you thought you'd be this morning, but thank you for showing up.
I appreciate you having me. Sometimes you got to let the body recover.
Yeah, you need that latency period with your muscles, brother.
Again, I'm not really technically not going to do what I need to do today. It's just I'm not doing a specific exercise that I've been doing for what would be 27 straight days, or is 27 straight days. So I'll see you guys here shortly on the next show. And
absolutely. And Raphael, thank you very much. Your Niners are playing Joe Steelers tonight. So for about 3 hours, you're probably not going to enjoy one another, but we're a family. So best of luck to everybody today. I hope it's a great Sunday. Should have been USA and Canada, and we should have seen World Alcaraz and Djokovic, but alas, that's sports. Like Joe was saying, it's a cruel mistress. So with that, we'll say so long. Might come back on later on tonight for another edition of Lakers Fast Break. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy your Sunday, everybody.